I looked up from my lunch to see the third blonde-haired woman of the day that had decided to be nice to me. "Oh, hi, Christina. Sure, you can sit here." Christina was wearing her blue-red cheerleader's outfit for the pep rally after school today. She smiled at me as she sat down with her tray and sandwich. Want some chips?" I asked. Mom had kind of overpacked my lunch.
No thanks,
she said. Then, looking again at my 3 bags of Cheetos, she quietly sneaked a hand over and took one. Then, when I didn't say anything, she sneaked her hand over and took another.
Just wanted to see how you were doing these days,
she said as she popped a Cheeto into her mouth.
And to steal your food. But seriously, how have you been? Long time no see.
Yeah, I haven't been able to make it to church much these days.
Oh, no, I totally understand that.
Christina said quickly.
Doctor's appointments and everything. I wouldn't make it much either. Really, Wes, I just wanted to say hi and catch up.
I believe you, I said quickly. And I did. Christina was one of the few people who kept me from writing off church. And maybe God himself altogether. There were maybe 4 members of the youth group at church who didn't start avoiding me after Dad's suicide, and Christina was one of them. In fact, along with some of the other misfits in the drama class I still went to, they were just about the only people that still talked to me. "I'm actually doing really good," I said after a quick bite of my own sandwich. "Head barely hurts today. Can walk without the cane if I have to so far, at least for a couple of steps."
Great,
she said brightly.
Had any of your tests yet?
"I already had literature and writing this morning," I said, a little surprised that Christina knew about them. "Think I aced both portions."
That's awesome.
She pumped her fists halfway into the air.
Oh, that totally rocks. Thanks for letting me know.
"You're welcome." I cracked a grin. "I appreciate the enthusiasm. But is there a reason you're so excited?"
Well, yeah.
she said.
A couple of us from church and some of your friends from drama got together to root for you today. I didn't know you were in drama, by the way.
They just let me help with the technical stuff, sound and lights. But how did you meet my friends in drama?
Dave Lon and I found out about your test from your sister. We asked who else would probably be rooting for you today, so we got together and made these bracelets.
She pulled up her sleeve to reveal a bead bracelet that said Team Wes in several bright colors. "You're all wearing those?"
Yeah?
she said with a smile that was half shy, half proud. I had to grin back. "That's incredibly cheesy," I said, "and really appreciate it. Thank you guys, seriously. Thank you all."
No problem.
Christina said with a confident shrug.
But now you have to completely rock out today or you'll make us all look bad, right?
"Well, that's no problem," I said, still grinning. "I think I can still rock out."
Good. I'm glad.
The cheerleader said, then took another of my Cheetos. I tried not to look too happy or too embarrassed, but it was hard. Then the last person I expected to see today walked by. "Hey, lady," quarterback Chris Rhodes said, giving Christina a sidearm hug as he swung by our table. At well over 6 feet, he had to stoop low to do that. "I didn't expect to see you this lunch. What's up?" Christina smiled shyly, but happily at him.
This is my free period, so I thought I'd let Wes know the rest of us were pulling for him. See?
She pulled up her sleeve to show the bracelet again. "That's awesome," he said enthusiastically, then turned to look at me with a smile that did not reach his eyes. "Right, your tests are today. I forgot, man. You should have told me so I can root for you." Like hell, I thought to myself. In the line of people rooting for me in life, Chris Rhodes stands right behind Soren and Adolf Hitler. "I haven't told anyone," I lied. "I've been so swamped with trying to study and stay healthy for it. Sorry, man. Didn't mean to keep you in the dark." Another of Dad's lessons crept into my mind. To learn how to love your enemies, read the Bible. To learn how to survive them, read The Art of War. Well, if you get a chance, swing by the football table so we can wish you good luck, all right? Yeah, sure. I gave him my second lie. I'll try and do that on my way out. Great, he said, turning his dark-haired head back to Christina. We still on for next week?
Yep.
She said with another of her half-cheesy smiles.
As long as my parents know I'm home by 10.
Great, he said, his gray eyes twinkling. In that case, I'll see you at the game tonight. You should come too, Wes. Sure, lie number 3 said. If I get a chance. That'd be great, he said with a smile. We miss seeing you, Wes. Bastard, I thought as he walked off. Christina watched him go, then turned back to me.
I didn't know you knew Chris so well,
she said, brushing some hair out of her smile. Yeah, well, we don't hang as much since I left football, I said, trying not to sound too careful. I don't even know where to begin on describing Chris Rhodes. He's tall and muscular, big enough to impress you without seeming overly large. He has perfect dark hair, piercing brown eyes, supermodel good looks. He has led our football team to title games twice in a row already, breaking several high school records and helped us, I mean them, they're not my team anymore, win last year's state championship. This year, our school is expected to compete in the high school national championship, largely because of his skills as both quarterback and team captain. He already has done spreads in both sports and modeling magazines. He's also the reason I'd never be valedictorian at this school, because even before my condition, he was at the top of every class, every single year. Science, math, English, you name it. It all came incredibly easy to him. Some of his science projects had already garnered notice from several technology companies. And where I had to work to try and keep my single scholarship, multiple schools were fighting over him, offering everything imaginable on a silver platter just to get a verbal commitment from him. And he earned these opportunities solely on effort. His father was a senior vice president at the giant corporation that gave most of the people in my town jobs. Chris could pay for college pretty much any way he wanted, and some scholarship packages offered to him were probably against the rules, because he didn't remotely qualify for needing financial aid. Now, yes, I am jealous. I can't pretend I'm not. Most guys are jealous of him. But that's not the reason Chris and I are enemies. We're enemies because he was the quarterback I stopped at that party 3 years ago.
Hey, Wes, you still there?
Christina asked, tapping the table and threatening to take my last Cheeto. Yeah, sorry, I said, snatching the last chip into my mouth with a grin. Just thinking.
So,
Christina said carefully.
Why don't you talk to the football team anymore? I know you still hang out with Davlon, but he wouldn't say why we couldn't get more of the players on Team Wes.
Davlon was, in fact, my only remaining friend on the football team. And he's probably the reason I didn't get my ass kicked more often. Apparently, Christina didn't know that. And being Christina, she wanted to know more about the boys she cheered for during football games, especially the quarterback. This was not going to be a fun conversation. Davlon's my only friend left on the football team, I said finally. The rest of the guys I have to watch out for, or they'll knock me around.
What?
She said in disbelief.
You're kidding. No way, the entire team?
The entire team won't knock me around, I replied. About half of them will just avoid me or sneer at me in the halls. The other half, though, the hardcore idiots, keep trying to push or trip me in the halls.
You're saying that's the reason you've been falling so much all these years?
My friend was incredulous. I shook my head. A lot of the times I've fallen just because I'm clumsy. They've only counted for like half of those times. And this year I've gotten better at dodging them.
That's still terrible.
Christina shouted angrily.
Why hasn't anyone done anything about this?
I don't know, I said with a shrug. Teachers can't be everywhere at once. The coach has promised to put a stop to it, but I still have to watch out for myself.
What about Chris?
She demanded.
Does he know about this?
Chris had never pushed or tripped me himself, because he's not stupid enough to risk his image on something he can get his friends to do on their own. But how did I say that to his new girlfriend in a way that she would believe?
Wes,
Christina demanded.
we've been friends since 5th grade. You stood up for me back when I had braces and extra weight, and everyone else was making fun of me for it. Tell me the truth about this.
Here goes nothing. Christina, Chris is probably the reason behind it all.
What do you mean?
I mean, Chris and I got into it really bad at a party 3 years ago. As far as I could tell, it was the right thing to do, but everyone disagrees with me, including the girl I stood up for at that party. Maybe I was wrong, and maybe I should have minded my own business. But Chris and I have never gotten along since, and the players I have to watch for the most are the ones that Chris hangs out with. So, except that I might be biased, but Chris Rhodes is the smartest, strongest, most accomplished, most careful, and most cunning slimebag I've ever met. Please be careful around him. I hadn't meant for that last part to sound like a pitiful beg, but it did. Christina said nothing for a moment. The hum of students eating, talking, and laughing all around us filled my ears.
Wes?
Yes, I said, dreading her response.
I've never heard you say that about anyone. Like, ever, not even my old body shamers.
They were jerks too back then. But, no. I shook my head. I stand by what I said about Chris, and that you should be careful around him. I hope we could still be friends.
Well, duh.
Christina said, to my eternal relief, almost smacking my arm, but pulling her hand away at the last minute.
I'm not going to give up one of my friends just because he doesn't like my boyfriend. You know me, Wes. I'm not one of those idiot girls that doesn't heed the warning signs about a jerk until it's too late.
Right. Sorry, I said, still unable to hide my relief. And thank God, I thought to myself, meaning it literally for the first time in a while.
Now, I'm not saying I'm going to immediately break up with him.
Christina continued.
I'm going to have to make my own decision about him. But if he's as bad a guy as you say he is, I'll find out about it. And I'll be smart about it too. I promise. Okay?
Okay, I said with a smile. Thanks for hearing me out. I looked at the clock. Hey, I gotta go get ready for my tests, but it was really good seeing you. I'll try to make it to church next weekend. Christina smiled at me.
Sure thing. It was good seeing you too. Keep us all posted, okay? Go Team Wes!
She flashed the bracelet at me. I grinned back, gathered my things, and headed out of the lunchroom.